As far as landmarks go, this is one of the most recognisable bridges in the world. Tower Bridge crosses the River Thames in London, close to the Tower of London, from where it takes its name. It is a combination bascule and suspension bridge. Once, London Bridge was the only bridge across the Thames. But as London grew, more bridges were built to the west. The area east of the bridge developed into a busy port. During the 19th century, East London became densely populated. Crossing the river meant a long journey west, and congestion mounted on these western bridges. Public pressure escalated for a bridge to be built east of the London Bridge. London Corporation formed a special committee to oversee the construction of a bridge that would not interfere with the river traffic. The bridge design was open to a public competition. They received over 50 designs. The evaluation of the designs was surrounded by controversy, and 8 years later, in 1884, city architect Horace Jones, in collaboration with John Wolfe Barry, put forward a design for Tower Bridge that was acceptable to all. Horace Jones just happened to be one of the judges. The design called for a bascule bridge 244 metres in length, with 2 towers each 65 metres high, built on piers. The central span of 61 metres between the towers was split into 2 equal bascules or leaves, which could be raised to allow river traffic to pass. The bascules weighed over 1,000 tonnes each and were counterbalanced to minimise the force required to raise them. 2 years later, work finally began on the bridge. It took 5 major contractors and the relentless labour of over 432 workers 8 years to finish the bridge, which was finally completed in 1894. 2 massive piers containing over 70,000 tonnes of concrete were sunk into the riverbed. 11,000 tonnes of steel went into the framework of the towers and walkways. Cornish granite and Portland stone covered the frame. The total cost was £1,184,000. When complete, Tower Bridge was the largest and most sophisticated bascule bridge ever built. Using steam to power the enormous pumping engines, hydraulic rams lifted the 2 sections of bridge to allow river traffic to pass. The energy created was stored in 6 massive accumulators so that as soon as power was required to lift the bridge, it was readily available. Despite the weight and complexity of the system, the bascules only took about 1 minute to raise to their maximum angle of 86 degrees. In 1976, the engines were upgraded. The steam engines replaced with oil and electric motors. The bascules are still operated by hydraulic power. Through the unusual design, the bridge has seen some interesting incidents during its history. One pilot, Frank McLean, had to fly between the bascules and the high-level walkways in his short biplane to avoid crashing during an emergency. A London bus had to leap from one bascule to the other when the bridge began to rise with the bus still on it. In May 1997, the motorcade of US President Bill Clinton was divided by the unexpected opening of the bridge. The bridge split the motorcade in 2, much to the consternation of security staff. A spokesman for Tower Bridge is quoted as saying, "We tried to contact the American embassy, but they wouldn't answer the phone." Tower Bridge is sometimes mistakenly referred to as London Bridge. A popular urban legend is that in April 1968, American entrepreneur Robert P. McCulloch of McCulloch Oil spent almost $2.5 million purchasing London Bridge. He believed mistakenly that he was buying Tower Bridge. McCulloch denied this. He removed London Bridge and reassembled it at Lake Havasu City, Arizona.